Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to one and all for this week's Tech Tuesdays webinar on upgrading your Omnichannel product experience using Informatica PIM. I'm Vrinda, who's going to host today's session. Today we have Kamal Abrol, an MDM veteran from the Customer Success Technologies team. Kamal has over a decade's expertise in MDM PIM solutions across different industry verticals and cross-functional areas such as financial, pharmaceutical, insurance, telecom, and retail industries. Before we start this webinar, let's go through some housekeeping tips. The webinar will be for 1 hour. That includes a 15 minutes Q&A. You can post your queries in the Q&A box. Dial-in participants are muted for the entire session. The session will be recorded and will be available in the Informatica Support YouTube channel and the Success portal. You'll also be able to download the slide deck from Success portal. You can also put in your feedbacks and suggestions for the upcoming topics for Tech Tuesdays in the post-webinar survey. The Tech Tuesdays webinars are hosted within the Success portal, which is a micro-learning platform that offers free and unlimited learning to all registered users. This feature-rich platform was launched to help you learn and use Informatica products better. Here are a few important links that you can go over later that will help you in your product adoption journey with Informatica. Over to you, Kamal. Thank you.
Good morning, good evening. Do appreciate your time in joining this webinar. Hope we could do justice to it. So this session is intended for analysts, developers, architects, project managers, those who are already into Informatica PIM space or planning to onboard Informatica PIM product and wish to upgrade their omni-channel experience by deploying some of the well-thought accelerators. So we will look at some of the accelerators which are worth exploring, aim to enrich customer experience, save cost, effort for manufacturers, retailers to capture relevant attributes, execute set of even pre-built DQ rules, right? So I'm talking more from the GDSN perspective, right? Why, when, where, what. We'll be starting with the very basic and showcasing the complete end-to-end architecture, technical overview, how it works, what is the data flow, why it's needed, and followed by a demo. And then omni-channel experience, how you can strategize it, how you can upgrade it, followed by our Informatica clear architecture, that's AI based architecture to auto classify some of the items or in batches or in on demand basis. And finally we'll be wrapping up the session with the characteristic model, which is also a critical feature to handle some of the variants or complex requirements around dependent lookups, right? So there are a lot of enhancements when it comes to our latest releases. So overall we plan to enrich your PIM experience. Why? That's a very first question, why I'm doing this webinar. The GDSN rapidly, increasing dynamic demand from retailers and consumers for more consumer relevant information is adding cost and complexity, as you know. And as you are aware also about increasing regulation about consumer data, like we have multiple regulatory bodies, their laws and regulation that support consumer to ensure that they will have access to all relevant product information. Let me give you an instance, like manufacturer and retailers of pre-packed food and beverage category, especially those who are selling online, are affected by the food regulation, especially in the Europe since its introduction. So the regulation aims to make sure that consumers are making informed food buying decision at the point of sale by giving them product information about the quality, nutritional value, ingredients, country of origins, allergens, etc., etc. So this product information must be visible online as well as in store prior to the purchase, obviously. And even in the US, there are FDA regulations which enforce to make information, nutritional value, ingredients, allergens available to the consumer prior to purchase. Yes, there are. This is a prerequisite. So non-compliance will result in hefty fines, right? So GDSN used to cater this. Why we need GDSN? I hope you get an overview. What is GDSN? Global data pool of synchronized network, like network of data pools, their registry that is globally recognized. There are GS1 standards, which around more than, 60K companies follow, and even more than that into this PIM category, right? And they share data in a standardized way when it comes to UPC or some other type of barcode, or I'm just giving an example of UPC. So what or how it will help it synchronize the data based on GS1 standards, and that is the standard which give confidence to retailers that okay, my data is appropriate and as per our global standards. A lot of big players used to rely on this GS1 standards which GDSN used to cater. Aim. Overall, I would say the aim is to provide or ensure the information what we share is trustworthy, consistent across all channels, let it be store, web, mobile, email, social, and supporting a high quality consumer experience. So that's the aim, and that's a very big thing in today's era when it comes to customer experience, and that's how all products are even evolving and targeting this category. As we move, so GS1 is open non-profit organization. Now, as you see, the numbers are quite strong, which ensures that all the parties in this supply chain, end to end, like from manufacturer till the retailer or in the end consumer experience, are working with the same trusted product data with predefined data quality rules, and it enriches the attributes, having a standard naming convention. Even the LOVs should be standard, right, all across. So GDSN helps in achieving that, right? More than 60,000 companies, 35 million products, 45 data pools. So retailers and consumers, retailers are feel more confident when they see, oh, okay, my data is GDSN certified, and when they provide us omni-channel, same experience across all of their channels with their GDSN certified product data. Okay, let's move. Let's know about its working. Like let's have a end-to-end data flow. We have a manufacturer at the left hand end, we have a retailer, right? Manufacturer will be, obviously it's a data source. It's going to publish the item to the pool, whatever it manufacture, let it be an automobile or a beverage or apparel company. Once it publish to the pool will send it to the GS1 registry. If the items are as per the standards, then it will be subscribed by the GS1 registry. If not, then it will be resent to the data source itself. So we have to rely up to the certain standards. And all those standards are defined by the GS1 global registry. It comes to UPC, it comes to a lot of data quality rules on each attribute which are predefined. We already have those attributes as a part of our GDSN accelerator, especially for the food and beverage category. Don't have to, but for that other category, we can directly handshake with the GS1 and get those quality rules, so we don't have to deploy all those cost and manual efforts in deploying the rules for each and every category. So GS will help you in enriching the attributes, their values, the standardization of each one. So once the very first step is to publish the data. Let's suppose a manufacturer will publish the data to the pool, and as per the standards, if all the quality rules are successfully executed, then GSN will subscribe it. The item will be subscribed by GSN. Now at the receiver side, wherein we have our Walmarts or Kroger's, they used to subscribe from the pool on demand basis, right? And once they subscribe, you will have the notification like it's been accepted, it's been reviewed, or there is a problem, we are not. So we have a complete set of end-to-end chain working. That's how the data flow works. So and you must be now aware why we need GDSN and how it actually operate within our payment environment, and how it helps. The two key advantages, if I can help you with the GDSN, it's retailers feel more confident in fetching the GDSN and displaying all those data as per the GDSN standards, because that will be consistent all across their channels. And that is not consistent just across their channels. Even lot of big companies are obeying to their standards, right? So we are actually globally operating as per the global standards, right? How it works, let's take it one by one in terms of data source. So yes, first we have to from the PIM side, there will be a AS2 connection. Again, that's an open source. You can have the AS2 connection, which will first register the master data, publish the master data to the pool. You can see on the 1, 2, 3 on the right hand side, that the complete thing, how it happens. Okay, from once it is getting registered and published, after all the data quality and checks happen, then you will receive the feedback, but that's from the retailer part, that's from the recipient part. This is at the data source part, wherein we have just registered and published it to the pool. Now the okay, so now let's look at the recipient side. This is the source side. where you call manufacturers, right? At the recipient side, it has to subscribe the data from the pool, right? And once it's subscribed, it will receive the product master data. The retailer will receive the product master data, and via A2S connection, they can push it to the consumers, right, via PIM, and provide the feedback to the pool, which will be later provided to the source pool and finally to the source data source, like it's accepted or they need some changes or it's been reviewed and these are the changes, you should do it, and then finally send it. Okay, so finally the information is being synchronized within the GS1 global registry, and your data source like manufacturer and retailers are obeying to a GS1 standards, right? And that's how whole magic work, because we are now operating as with all the attributes, with all the quality intact, with more accurate information, with more accurate attributes, right? So okay, so GS1 one world sync, what we call it as, it's for US, and that's what we call item management. That's also supported by Informatica PIM. And next is the data sync engine, that's for the Europe. That's also being supported. So both from the supply side and the demand side, I think this accelerator will fulfill both the geographies easily. Now GDSN accelerator is like on top of P360, Product 360. It's an add-on to Product 360, right? And that will synchronize the product data based on GS1 standards. That's a correct, I think, definition to make you guys aware. And before, I think we'll be looking more from the demo as well in the real environment. But let me just show some of the screenshots first, and then we'll go to the demo environment. Okay, so this is a dashboard wherein we'll have all those quality checks as per the GSN data pool, like how many are transferred or exceptions. Clearly at the item level, we can recognize, and before even publishing to the pool, we need to have our data quality intact, right? So all those rules need to be executed error-free, right, before pushing the data. So this will give you the statistics of all the GDSN, I mean the complete choreography of GDSN, whatever data we have sent to the pool, right? Like how many has transferred, how many are even published, how many are linked. Now, once it is transferred and published, we need to have some of the notification on the UI as well, right? So from the UI perspective, we'll receive notification as well, like once the data is pushed and exported to a data pool with a target market. Now we can have target market specific exports as well with respect to GDSN. But at the end, like how you will get to know, okay, now your data is being pushed, published, and received by the consumer or the retailer. Now they are able to use it. So you will have the complete overview over the PIM screen as well, or the Informatica PIM, like the ones it's transferred, it's linked with a certain hierarchy, right? And then it's finally published. So all three are okay, and now data is being utilized, and I mean the as per the global standards, right? So let's directly move to the demo. Let's see the screens and how it works, and what are the steps you need to do to implement the GDSN, right? Okay. Right, this is our PIM web interface, right? And now going to log in using a specific like GDSN users, that we can have a custom dashboard with respect to GDSN transfer and the entire choreography of it. Right, so this is a dashboard of GDSN, and we have sent the data to the GDSN pool via hot folder import, right? We can even import it from the UI as well, right? And this widgets on the dashboard, you see, represent the entire choreography of GDSN data pool, like how many are transferred, how many are left with the exceptions, right? And an exception during linking, like we can have different linking of data with respect to, if I show you, and you say this linking, I mean to say different can be categories like base, case, or palette, different structurization of data. So how many are transferred, how many are linking exceptions, how many are published to which market, right? Which data mart, like it can be like AWS, Amazon, or Walmart, or Kroger, to which systems. So right, and this is, if you see broadly this dashboard, you get to know like how many are what happened when we send the data to the pool, and how many are getting published, how many are getting subscribed, how many are getting even used by the retailers, are we having any feedbacks, are they synchronized, all those feedbacks, even for a particular market, even retailer, we have this represent the entire choreography of our GDSN, right? So any exception during linking, like palette case or pack, or while running the DQ, uh, it display over here. And finally, we publish to the recipients like retailers and customers, which will acknowledge during successful uh, subscription, and that acknowledgement will be sent to the data source of the manufacturers if needed. Okay, let me take you from here to some of the exceptions. Let's see how it happens and how we run the execute the data quality rules, how we export it, the data to the yeah, uh, transfer the data to the pool, right? So this is a screen wherein you'll see, I mean, that's a complete 360 view, you can see, right? And these are some of the exceptions, and we can get to know, okay, what is the problem, like brand name is not empty, so it should not be blank, right? And so there are a lot of rules which are already as per the GDSN we see over here, and that has to be certified, corrected before even going to the publishing to the pool, right? So once we have this GDSN generator, like once we add this like a brand name, although it should be a lookup, but suppose fridge, right? And once we have this and all those information, so once we key in the required data, we have to execute the data quality rules on specifically on a GDSN channel, right? Now this channel, why we are choosing this channel? Because this will have all those rules pre-configured for a specific category, right? And that will run behind the scene. The quality checks are now completed, although we need to do more checks, but for now I think for the demo, I would show you what is the next step after the quality. What we have to do, we have to export. We have to export. Now all the data quality checks as per the GDSN looks fine, and your data is going to be exported to the GS1. That is I one world sync. That's a top level of global registry where it will be getting registered. So once I'll click over here with respect to each market, you can have specific data. And once I say, so it is exported and transferred to the pool via ES2 connection. So that's how it happens. So that's a complete overview, like how you can do it. And yes, obviously once it is done, and once we have all the data being transferred, linked and published, and we receive the feedback from the end user or like a retailer, like we have received it. So right up till now we have exported it. Now someone will subscribe it and receive it. So all the cycle will be having a complete like end-to-end preview on the real time, like what has happened, where it is, and right. So although the checks, we haven't completed all the checks on the data quality, but it will have 3 ticks like transferred, published, linked, like I've shown you over the screenshots, right? So let me conclude like what we saw in this demo. Once we went from the dashboard, from the exceptions, very first step is to validate, revalidate all those TQ rules. Go to the GDSN data pool, which will pre-populate all those relevant validations, right? And you need to validate it, execute the data quality rules. And once the rules are okay, then we'll be exporting to the one world sync for a specific target market. I mean, we can have a different association for specific market as configured, and you can export accordingly. Okay, let's move back to the PPT to get to our next well thought accelerator. So now some of the like do's and don'ts, like what we provide as a part of accelerator, and wherein we don't provide out of the box stuff, and you need to coordinate with the GDSN, like a GSN organization, with all those attributes, and right, and that's again a non-profit organization, so that's not an issue. But yes, we don't have out of the box connector, right? But definitely we do provide to accelerate your speed up our project. At least we have the commonly used attributes for the food and beverage category with all the pre-built rules already done, already pre-configured within for target market US, right? And yes, best to have the professional services who will be implementing it. And what we don't provide is with all those thousands of attributes, that's where we need to sync with the GDSN certified pools, right? All the DQ validations for all the categories, no, we have for specific food and beverage category. For all the categories, again, you need to reach out to the certified pools, and with the A2S connectors, you can get it. And definitely, it's my best to have the professional services to implement it. Okay, and benefits, yes, that's the last screen, I think, for this accelerator, wherein you already see the demo. Will have the more accurate product quality. It's like more compliant with the laws, regulation, with the, like we have seen more attributes are needed for by the consumer in terms of country of regions, allergens, ingredients, like how many fat, calorie. More of a streamlined process, right? From the standard, we'll be obeying to the global standards, and like faster time to market. Earlier it takes around maybe 2 to 3 days to onboard a single item. Now once the quality is okay, we'll be directly pushing the item to the pools, and from where retailers can easily subscribe it. So it all happen over the marketplace in minutes, right? So that's a scalable model what we are. Okay, so now there are a few strategies which you can deploy, and which most of our customers are uh, already taking advantage of our latest releases to upgrade their omni-channel experience. Right now, delivering personalized, consistent, and connected cross-channel experience. This is the most important thing, most critical thing when it comes to implementing PIM. I mean, all your suppliers, product managers, shipping specialists, sales, all will be under one platform. There won't be any silo. So there will be real-time synchronization to ensure like you have the latest consistent info available across all the channels. So this will obviously improve time to shop, right? Be the first to market with latest data. That's again we are pushing this now. Be the first. When you say time to shop should be very less, like your all those auto classification using our AI based clear accelerator, which we'll be seeing now just after this. Automated data quality, faster workflows, step workflows we have introduced, so which will let you publish your new products in minutes, which will definitely save your time and efforts when it comes to uh, onboarding the new item, or even bulk exporting the SKUs over the marketplaces. So we have a scalable model to execute a multi-threaded parallel processing of data, right? So that you can make use of that feature as well. And obviously, yes, deliver trusted and complete data adhering to our global GDSN, GS1 sync standards to enrich all those product attributes, and all those attributes will be validated as per the standard validations, which will be already executed as a part of our GDSN accelerator. And all those automated data quality processes will definitely be eliminates all those time wasting stuff like manually entering and checking those uh, data sets or color material, right? So, so gather the information as per the standards, which will be pushed to the seamlessly pushed to the pools, right? Okay, make your product it's a more rich in terms of having more accurate images, their zoom and all those stuff, I mean, can be used to have a consistent view across all the channels, right? So all those videos are actually, customers are more interested in terms of how actually the product looks, right? So digital asset management is the feature which should effectively use it. And there are a lot of new things which we have already provided in our latest releases. You must have a look. And personalized data, yes, a lot of insights like cross-selling of things, and that's also a part of our release. And inject new product offers, uh, right? So that can be built on top of data, and we can have this relationship intact in the PIM, and then make use of those insights. Uh, the customers are very much excited, like how okay, how many customers are buying this stuff along with it, along with us some other stuff. So those are relevant recommendations as per each item can be more can filled up with more insights, right? And help in cross selling. Okay, now we so these are the some of the critical, I think, features which you can use, and a part of latest release like 360 view. I think you must be aware about those graphical initiative, covering of insights, and you can explore as you click more from the node perspective. There are Swagger UI where you can use the API more effectively, more you have a complete interface, and you have certain standards like Open API 2.0, and right. So this is again one of the key features, and one of the best features, I think, what personally I like is like, sorry, performance. So we can make use of this multi-threaded export. We can have this parallel processing checkbox that been recently introduced, and in 10.10 version, and you can actually have a huge in terms of performance improvement. You can see because it's execute on multiple CPU threads, right? And on the Elasticsearch, right, in terms of indexing, so it's flexible uh, in terms of search experience. You have more indexes, uh, based web search updates, right? So all those are features are more critical, along with the accelerator, which I'll be talking about. Okay, the next would be Clear. Now, how Clear will help us, or what is Clear? So Clear is actually AI-based trademark from Informatica, and that's used to auto-classify your items based on certain models, right? And that's been trained. So it's a part of supervised learning, right? So let's see how it works and how it communicates, what part of item attributes what we need to provide, and what we get in return, and how AI is helping other PIM customers. Right, so product 360 will communicate with the Clear engine with the help of REST APIs, right? And right, if you see, so this is a complete Python based model. It will be building, and from where it will be suggesting or recommending some of the, or even enriching the contents, right? So let's see about the benefits of Clear, and why this accelerator is more beneficial, and in what scenarios. And there are a lot of the customers I know who are doing POCs, and they are actually getting benefit out of it. And this is nothing but wherein I mean, I'll give you a small example. Like there is an item with a long description, but it's not classified, and there are a lot of it's a common scenario, like item is not classified or its contents are not enriched. So we used to train the model, and for training we need to leverage full power of product 360 export. I'll show you the auto classification today, like how auto classification happens, and how we are using the deep learning or NLP. Uh, so auto classification is supervised learning based on the text value, right? And we have to feed the model with long description and the category of the item, and then it will recommend. I'll tell you with the demo how it happens, and see the real in action as well. But overall, this is ML based classification service, and what the benefits I've already told you: content enrichment, recommendations, guidance, suggestions in terms of classifying the correct category attached to the each item, right? And let's directly go, and it's both. I think it's not. I think yeah, it's definitely it's batch based as well as CUI based. You can have in the form of batches as well, like on a bulk item you need to auto classify, which I'll be showing, and on the UI also, which I'll show you. Okay, now for training, like I said, we have to feed the model with long description, with category, like assigned category. And once a model is fitted, there will be a model file, right? And that's where how it will be saved. That's how it will help in retrieving all those recommendations and suggestions, right? And there are two types. Now, one is batch based, like you have complete uh, classification of item on a bulk node, right? This is a like long description, and it will come up with the category with the confidence, whatever threshold we have configured, right? And we do have all this configured over a DQ engine, okay, which can be executed, and auto classification results can be seen over the UI. So long description we are sending in this case to the clear model, and based on the threshold configured, predictions can be made, and thus we are assigning or able to assign the structure group with item, right? And structure group will only be assigned if it crosses a certain threshold as per the rules, right? So I'll show you how. Let's directly look. Before that, let me just show you. So there are two types. So one is auto classified, and we have the status, and we have a complete category, right? And now it's from the UI as well. How it happens, same scenario, but it's from the on-demand basis. So let's see how this Flex UI happens. Let's see the real demo. Okay. So as I said, it's all like we do have all this configured over DQ engine, which can be executed, and auto classification results can be seen over the UI, right? And like if you see this clear model auto classification, we have the complete, like what is the input and what is the threshold we are giving, and structure identifier, ML approach like deep learning, and do you still want to retain the existing classification? That's true. So all those configurations you need to do at this level, at the data quality level. And let's see directly from the UI. Okay, I'm logging in with another user. It's not GDSN, so it will have some different dashboard. Let's look at some of the other catalogs. Apparel, okay, apparel, and let's look at this. Now I want to check. So these are non-classified items, okay, and I want to check what can be, how, with which structure or with which category this can be classified. Right now, I'll open this classification with clear using NLP, and or maybe the other. Okay, now this is a recommendation you see from the clear. We have the clear engine already started. So again, it's an accelerator which comes along with the product 360 only. There is no extra license you need. So if you see from, it's automatically classifying, and obviously we obtain the model first with the long description and category what we already have. So for training, as I already said, we need to leverage a full power of our product 360 export, and once the model is trained, then we are ready to go ahead and auto classify it. Once we apply it, then it will be done, right? So this is how I think clear you can. So this is actually applied. Now this is how clear will help you in auto classifying in the batches mode over the UI as well, and easy to configure, right? And this Flex UI template will be provided with the Accelerator as well, and can be modified as per the need basis. Now this we have already seen over the data, I mean DQ configuration, like what is the source field and algorithm, threshold, only the matching stuff which are greater than 80% probability of matching, that only will be displayed as a part of recommendation. So that's all how we configure, and we have the complete guide as well, like how to start the engine, and that's not very lengthy, but that's always the lengthy process, or the initial process, since it's supervised learning, you need to train the model accordingly. Once it is trained, I would say that is the time consuming process. Once it is trained, then you're good to go with the power of full like product 360 export. You need to leverage that. Okay, and now yes, last topic, and that's very interesting and most commonly used nowadays by product 360 customers. It's characteristic model. Now there are scenarios wherein you need to have this variant enable and that too situations can be more complex in terms of dependent lookups, and one value depend on another. We need to develop a model. So this characteristic model has gained a lot of popularity in terms of achieving those scenarios where you need to have the multiple variants, and that too in terms of drill down categories, right? And in the form of tabs, right? Distribution of categories across tabs. So all those things can be done via this model. Let's see how on the real screen how it looks and how we can implement it. What is the data model? What are the relationships I need to carry? And okay, okay. Let me give you first example of what we are trying to do over here. Now let's see. Suppose we have a characteristic model and we have a attribute farming method. Now once we have this farming method, it has different, it's a LOV, so it's a different option. Like when I select cage, it will show me 1 and 2, right? And this is a model of an animal husbandry, right, as in category. Now once I change, like if I changed from cage to free range, now let me go back. There are free range as well, there are cage as well. So depend upon each value, your downside attributes will get or you can say will get changed or automatically depend, right? So when you say free range, you have this 100% cage free, that's a message, and you have different even numbers in the form of label. So we have different values across multiple attributes that depend upon the value in the parent attribute, right? So then that's also a kind of uh, complexities where a lot of PIM customer have in their radar, and you see that's even drilled down in terms of within egg farming. Then you have multiple attributes, and that too depend upon other attributes, and even multiple attributes. Okay, so that is the model what we should have it. Like for a specific egg farming, there would be free range. A free range will have some other values. So this is the model we should develop, and then accordingly your 360 UI, the final screen will work, right? Okay, let's see over the tool itself how it looks, and then we can wrap up with all your you can bombard questions on GDSN, characteristic, or clear accelerator, or any specific strategies you're looking to upgrade your PIM experience. Okay, now we see characteristic model, right, in action. And this is really interesting. It can handle a lot of complex variant specific scenarios, which are already in the radar of a lot of PIM customers, right? So let me go directly to the get long, and let's suppose I select this TV, and let me make it more elaborated. Okay. So this is what you see some of the characteristics and how it is displayed. Like we have a category, and we have a lot of attributes, and all attributes are dependent on each, and we have tabs, specific values, and if and else, like if a TV tuner is yes, then below categories will be applicable. Of otherwise, if I make it no, then I think this below categories won't be. So you are trying to change it, yes, because below categories are not applicable when it comes to no, right? So these are all modeled in the characteristic modeling, which I'll be showcasing how it is done. And let's suppose I change to get back to yes, right, and other the both attributes are now applicable. You can select one or any values. So these all are actually linked with certain rules and how it is formed, and uh, who can access it. Everything is controlled as per the characteristic model, and you need to build that accordingly. And let me just go to electronic advice. Yeah, this one. Okay, and we have this for TV tuner, which I was showing you. What are the values? If TV tuner is yes, then what will be what attributes will be participating? Like there are two attributes, right? This included is size, and if it is known, then there these are not included. And this is not just like this can be modeled as per the requirements of the business, and this is very strong. Like who can even access it? There are restricted read and write records who were the complete historical. So right now to track the things, right? So this is overall a characteristic model which I would strongly encourage, and a lot of customers are making use of it to cater our variant specific scenarios, right? So yes, thus we conclude our PIM webinar, and you can reach out to me for complete documentation around Clear or GDSN Accelerator, or characteristic model, how to implement it. We have certain best practices, right, and a way forward path trainings are there. So yes, thank you, and mm, thanks to our panelists as well. And I'm sure you must be having a lot of questions on this, and one by one, or maybe you can directly put into the chat and you can ask us over this. So we have our panelist who will be answering. I can also take care some of the questions, right? So thank you.
Everyone, please post your queries in the Q&A box. We'll try and answer them. Kamal, would you like to call out any questions that we have previously answered that is present in the Q&A box?
Yeah, sure. So there are a few questions with respect to GDSN dashboard and does it come along with the PIM? So it's a free accelerator. You can make use of it. A lot of customers are using it, and dashboards are configurable. Standard dashboard comes along with the GDSN accelerator, and you can configure it. I mean, there are XML changes you need to do as per the business. Another question from Christoph was, is it an on-premise solution? What I'm demonstrating, yes, it's 10.1 on-premise solution, but we do have hosted and SaaS solution as well, and that's on our, I mean, that's where we are more innovating, but this is far most stable solution, whatever we have demonstrated, and we have a lot of customers already in production, which I was demonstrating as an on-premise. But since everyone is, I mean, we have this cloud initiative in place, so we are gradually will be moving or migrating our stuff to SaaS-based Product 360. On the Swagger, yes, Swagger UI, let's make it more interactive in terms of accessing the API without having any of the implementation details in place, right? So, I mean, logic in place. You can directly, confidently more play with the complete UI of the Swagger, and that's more from the open API specification also. So it makes it easy for even for the consumers to consume the stuff more interactively, more visually. So that's where the power of Swagger you will get to know. And we do have a lot of demos already on the YouTube. You can search it out, or you can reach out to me for a real-time demo.
Sure. Thank you, Kamal. If you have any queries, everyone, please post them in the Q&A box. We have some more time for the Q&A. Also, just wanted to call out that you will find all Informatica Tech Tuesdays webinars in the Success Portal Tech Tuesdays landing page, where you will also be able to download the slide deck. Also, right after this webinar, we have a post-webinar survey. Please let us know your thoughts about the session and any suggestions for future topics. Let us know through that. Let's wait for some more time, Kamal, before we can end this session for more questions. Yeah, looks like we don't have any questions coming in. Hope we have answered all your questions. If we have failed to answer any of your questions, we'll try to get back to you right after the session. We are almost on top of the hour. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you, Kamal, Shaurya, and everyone in the panel for helping out during the Q&A and for the session. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on our next Tech Tuesdays. Bye.